I'm gonna start the recording. Cool. So we are looking today at some Rein gameplay from one of my students at Jefferson High School. This is RedactedRat. We are going to watch their gameplay on Reinhardt. So some of the things that we've talked about in the past with your gameplay is your passiveness as Rein. So a lot of times we've been watching you shield your backline or not really contribute to the pressure on the fight, right? Rein is very good at a couple of things, and they all revolve around close combat situations. So Reinhardt is very good at shielding off their team in order to keep them safe, because you have the strongest shield in the game as Rein. The limiting factors is attached to your body physically, so there's only so much that you can do, and you can only either shield or swing. But when you're swinging, you're doing a lot of damage. It's 85 damage per swing. So when you're able to get on top of someone like this Hanzo right here, you're going to be doing a lot of damage, which is good, right? So what I want to see, especially when you have something like Lucio and Baptiste to help you out, is I want to see you going in and swinging on the enemy, right? Like we need to get you into these close combat situations that enable you. That's going to be one of the major factors here.
Happy to have you.
I've had bad luck with teams, but this one seems alright.
Yeah, that's the spirit.
So right now you've been scouted out. Right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. So you're never gonna take damage on the entry shielding. Not bad, right? But they're starting to retreat now. You can let your shield down, right? So right away, we're seeing that you're letting your shield break, and that's not good, because the time it takes for your shield to regenerate off of breaking is longer than if you just let it recharge normally, right? So ideally, you are putting your shield you're giving it as much strain as possible without actually letting it break, especially when there's no reason to, right? Your Bastion is popping off because they've gone on a flank, they've got a nice sight line, the other team has to retreat, and ideally, you know this, right? Like. Look at the space that you're getting now, right? They have to start falling back. Their Rein, their Hanzo, their Hog, their Mercy is frontlining, right? You need to start closing the distance now, because their tanks are playing the back line. They only have Mercy heals, and if this Mercy, this Mercy is probably gonna get killed, right? We're probably gonna get 3 picks in the first, what is it, 15 seconds, right? So you need to start going in, start closing that distance, right? Don't hesitate. Start running, right? Yeah. Because now they're down everyone, right? It's literally just this Hog. Start closing the distance on them. Yeah, just start swinging on them. All right, there's not a whole lot more you can do. You can shield that. Try to predict when he's got the hook, right? You almost die. You almost die because he's like just barely kiting you out, right? Hold on, watch this back. Right, so watch what's happening. Right, let's watch from up here. Right, so Bastion gets a really nice crossfire on them and starts blasting them down. Mercy gets blasted down trying to go for the reds. Like, this team is not smart about how they're playing. So now it's just tanks and Hanzo. They need to retreat. You need to go in. Right, like this Bastion has made all this space for you. They cannot reasonably go past this choke. As soon as you start swinging on them, because they don't have healers, they're gonna have to fall back. So like, this is the time to go. Right, you need to start engaging, but instead you're out there in the back on the Mega, right? I don't know what you're waiting for exactly. Shield to recharge or something, right? And while that's good, right, it's good to have a shield. You know, you're getting to the point. It's like, okay, it's halfway. You can start going in, right? You've got your healers, right? Baptiste is looking at you. Lucy is looking at you and escorting you in, right? You've got people who are able to help you. Don't worry too much about taking the damage. Especially because you taking damage is how your healers are going to get ult charge, right? Now, don't take a bunch of damage at once, right? And that's if you're running into a 6-stack, but like, you're running into 3 of them and you have both your healers pocketing you, right? I'm gonna have to turn off the objective capture sounds because that's gonna get annoying real quick, like. Okay, so, right? At this point, right, you can chase the Hog down. You can also just hold here and make him come to you, right? Because the Hog has to do one of 2 things: jump off the cliff or try to recontest this point, right? There's no real reason for you to be chasing the Hog. Like, you can, right? Especially if you have a Lucio who's pocketing you. But at this point, right, where's your BAP? Your Bat's trying to heal you around this corner and capture the point. And your Lucio is where? Your Lucio's not even looking at you, right? So you're only getting Baptiste heals, and even that it's sporadic, right? Like they've captured the point, neither healer is looking at you, right? You don't have any support in this moment. So you gotta be really careful when you're doing stuff like that. Obviously, you're in a position where you know, you've captured the point. Your respawn time is gonna be, you know, 10 seconds, and you come back right here, right? But you want to keep the momentum going. So you being here is a little awkward for sure. Right, and you don't have any support for it. So be mindful about when you're going on these long charges, and when you're going after targets. Like, do you have the Lucio taxiing you around? Do you have the Baptiste sightline? Right. Think about where you are. Right. So you're escorting the payload in. There's a ball above you. Right. Okay. Your Reaper's starting to go in, and take the high ground. Right. Hog's taking the high ground as well. Oris is kind of just chilling. So Reaper's got on the flank and made stuff happen. Where are you? I think you see the ball and you start swinging on it. Right. Right. So right now you're really just chilling. Like there's not a lot you're doing right now, but you could start trying to push up to the high ground and claim this for your team, right? Because you know, one of the things that you want to enable, right, is this Bastion, and you can either just park the Bastion on the cart and run pirate ship with it, but that's probably why you have the Orisa in the first place. You can also be clearing this high ground out for that Bastion. Right. Then you kind of throw a fire strike at nothing there. Right, you see the ball, start swinging on him. Ball leaves. You don't have to chase that, right? Because ball's probably just going to come in and recontest. It's better for you to be taking some space, right? That's a big thing about Reinhardt is you can start taking space. Like, what if you held this corner and started swinging, right? This Hog has nowhere to back up. But now the Reaper is pushing him alone, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Reaper got punished because this Hog's got pocketed by 2 healers, right? Right, and where are you this whole time? You're just kind of putzing about down here. Like, okay, I'm gonna start charging. I'm gonna start moving. All right, advancing. That shield is up in front of you, right? When you have an Orisa, the big thing that you need to think about is how you're going to cycle your shields, right? So Orisa throws a shield down. You can start pushing up to that shield. You can play around it for a bit because it's there until it either breaks or time runs out, or a new shield is deployed, right? So what are you achieving with that extra shield? Not a whole lot, right? Think about min-maxing your shield efficiency. All right, you turn back to deal with this rat, and you kind of stand the mines, right? So like you take a bunch of damage just by standing in it. Right, you didn't have to be the one to go for that. I would rather you push the advantage here when your Baptiste is on the cart, right? Your Baptiste is able to help you. Again, you got Lucio, right? You are the main tank. You need to start leading this charge, right? Well, I guess you have 2 main tanks, but you need to start leading the charge. And right now, who are you shielding, right? You're shielding the Bongo and the Baptiste. Okay, cool. But your Lucio's going in front of you. Your Riss is going in front of you. This Bastion is unprotected. Right? What's to stop this Hog right now? Besides, you know, obviously the pressure that he's taking, to just hook this Bastion as soon as he can, right? Absolutely nothing, because you weren't there, right? You need to push that advantage, and you need to hold it. And this Hans is right behind you, and you're milling about in the dragons, right? You need to be playing more aggressive here, because it will help you take space, and it'll help you start making moves. The parakeet is very angry, if you can hear him in the background, right? So you're kind of not doing a whole lot with that shield, right? You fire strike, you stand there, you wait, and then you swing on this rat, right? Which, like, okay, cool, you focus fire him down, and then you stand in that, and that's not phenomenal. But, like, what are you shielding here, right? You are in the back line right now. Literally everyone on your team is in front of you, right? Like, what does this, what are you looking to achieve here, right? And your shield impacts your mobility, so not only are you, like, just shielding nothing, you're moving slower than everyone else. Alright. What do you do when you hear this dragon? You kind of just stand in it and wait here, right? And now this is something you need to be shielding, right? Like you got Hanzo pressuring you, and he just hits you, right? And this is when you decide to start swinging, right? Watch this, right? You're gonna kill this rat because you know you can. Cool. You take damage. Your healers are keeping you up. You literally saw that Hanzo too. What the rat was saying? Rat dies for the millionth time. All right, watch this. You gonna turn around? Look, he's there, right? Right there. Poking out. It's this dude. He's ready to shoot you. Right? He's determined. He's looking at you and he's like, I see tank. I see opportunity. Right? And while you all are just sitting in main, shoots you in the butt, right? Now, you know, he could be doing some other things. He could be focusing down that bastion a little harder. He could be contributing a little bit more. But his ult's like not bad, right? But it doesn't get the value it needs right away. It does a lot of damage to you. And now, because you're deciding to swing on a Moira that no longer exists because she faded, you get shot, right? And now this Hanzo, nothing's really stopping him in the backline, right? Because you died because you didn't know whether to shield or swing. And you kind of lost that. Now your team is out ulting them right now, right? And, like, okay. Your team's doing a lot. And you're kind of just walking back from spawn. Right? All people have to do is focus fire now. Bastion gets an ult. Right? And all this time you've been running back from spawn. Like you're on your nice little jog through Eichenwalde, right? Your team is gonna capture this point by the time you get back because Light Mage has been doing everything. Right? And okay. There's really no reason to pin this. Right? You could just swing on them. But okay, you get something done. But during that time, you leave yourself open, right? Right. Because look at this. You could be getting 2 for the price of 1 if you just started moving and swinging. Now, I don't know how you magnet hands the Sombra. I don't care too much, right? And then you hit the signal on the backside. But, like, you could have been swinging and done the same thing in a little bit less time. But your team, up until this point, has been making so much progress, and none of it has been because of you, right? Like... It's cool that you're taking shots of the team, and it's cool that you're blocking, and yes, it's good that you have Shatter, but, like, how long have you been holding on to Shatter, right? You've had it since... I think you've had it since you swung a ball, pretty much, right? 82. Alright, 83, 84. Do you get a hit on anyone? Or is this his time, right? Yeah. Okay. You hit 1 good fire strike, right? And then you kill this rat, and then you have Shatter, right? But like, you've not been doing anything that the rest of your team hasn't also been doing, and your impact, simply put, is just not felt right now. It doesn't matter because this team doesn't know how to work around Bastion, but your impact is very low right now. Because like, look, you're sitting on the payload during a time that it needs to break down this door. You need to go. Right? Your Orisa is trying to engage. Your Reaper is trying to engage. You need to make it so that this team cannot as easily collapse on this Orisa, right? You need to be playing forward. Ideally, you've got support with you. Because this breaking animation, right? And then the cart going through, this is on a timer. This is going to do its own thing, right? But then, okay, let's look at Ace, right? What is Ace doing?
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Right. So you've got the kills. They're coming back from their bad spawns. They've just used Hook. Mercy's literally standing still. Nobody checks the Reaper. And he gets 3 kills for free. Right? He gets 3 kills for free because nobody's looking at him. Right? The reason that you have won this losing fight, even with your Orisa down, is not because of you. It's because your DPS is carrying right now. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna sit on the payload. Alright, start pushing up. Start capitalizing on this space. Alright, good. Shoot a teleporter. That's something you can do right now. But you could be pushing forward, right? You'd be pushing forward and holding this corner because if you swing right here, you are creating the no-go zone for them on this line, right? Do you see how that happens? Right? If you are playing, and I'm going to use my mouse, if you're playing right here in this circle and you start swinging, you are telling them if you try to hold this corner, you die because I'm going to hit you around it, right? So instead of letting them push up to these stairs, which is where they're going to try and take this next fight, hold them back, right? You are the front line as the main tank. You kind of just swing at the turrets, I suppose. You hit that Mercy because she just flies through, right? Right. So shielding Whole Hog. This is a bit of an interesting encounter, right? when you shield whole hog, it just chunks a bunch of damage into your shield, but if you let it hit you, it knocks you back, right? So one of the more effective ways to deal with whole hog, because of just the way it works and how it spreads and how much damage it does, right, is to let the Roadhog push you back into a corner or whatever, right? Like, or around a corner, specifically not into a corner because you die if you're in a corner, right? Let him push you out, ride it out, and then you can shield, right? Because that way you're not just taking a bunch of damage and then getting blasted down, and you still have some shield ideally, right? Like you could just have ridden it out and then recontest it. I don't like this charge, right? Because when you charge, what happens? I'm gonna play this back, right? Think about the resources that your team has used because of what just happened. I'm gonna spectate overlay. Right. Look where they are. Right. Fire strike that. Bastion's dead. Big damage, gone. Everybody gets pulled back. What does Lucia have? Alright, Lucia thankfully has amp here. But Immor's gone, right? You've charged in, and what is the situation? For some reason, it's Anna's here, but the Sim's right there, and the Zarya's right there, and everybody's eyes are on you. Right? And if they had focused you down, things could have gotten really, really dangerous. Right? Do you see how that happens? Because you charged in, right? It just so happens that they didn't punish you for it, but there was a good chance that they would have. Right? Let's for that. And your bailout is gone because you don't have immortality anymore. Right? Like you save someone in the process, so I guess that's cool, right? So all in all, this charge ends up being very good because you save somebody and you get that hog. But now look at the situation here. So yeah, shielding, good, right? Something also important to note about Sim is the longer she blasts your shield, she actually recharges off of it, right? So you have to be very mindful because she's not only getting stronger by shooting your shield, but she's getting ammo back. So she can shoot shields infinitely. Right? Let your shield charge up. Start pushing and start swinging. Start pushing and start swinging. Like, this is your job. You could be shattering this right now. You could be preventing both of these tanks. Good. That's actually really big, right? You saw the lineup. You saw that bubbles are gone. This is big. Just swing. Right? And this is why I asked if you were on controller, because it's very jittery and you don't know where to look, right? Like, okay, you see that on in the corner? You should be pushing her, right? Your team's won this. Why do you keep playing behind this payload? Right? It's important to play behind natural cover as Rein, especially when you don't have a shield. But, like, the decisions that you're making just don't make sense. Right? Like, this is good. This is good because you catch out 3 people. Alright, now focus them down. Right? Hog, cut down. Zarya next. You kind of forget that you've stunned the Zarya, right? And now Zarya's doing what? Zarya's getting healed. Zarya's trying to melt people. She gets killed instead. Try to swing on that Ana, then you forget about the Ana. So you swing on this McCree, right? You are not focusing your damage. You're not focusing a target. You're just kind of running around swinging and hoping that you hit something and not using your eyes to see it, right? Like you need to start again. You got to close the distance onto these targets. You can't be hiding behind stuff, right? So you cap that. Let's see how your defense goes. Oh, you're on Sigma now. Okay. Right, this will be interesting. So again, your team wins that, but so little of the impact up until that last shatter was because of you, right?
But I will see them done.
And it's because you're not playing forward, you're not playing aggressive, and you're not making use of the space that your team is trying to claim. It's because you have a Bastion, they don't know how to deal with it, and it's because you have a Reaper, and they don't know how to look at him. Right? Those are the two winning factors here.
Observe the barrier.
3, 2,
Okay, there's no real reason to stack these shields, right? You're just gonna take shield damage for no reason, especially because this is not a sustainable position. You're gonna have to back up, right? Don't let them just shoot your shield. Pull it back, pull it back, pull it back, pull back your shield. Dude, come on. Right? Like now you don't have a shield, right? If they were to start throwing bigger damage at you or flashbangs or rocks or something, right? You'd have no way of blocking that because now both shields are down because like Orissa's shield is going to break. It says stationary. She just keeps resetting it. But your shield's now broken too. For what, right? You put it down in front of this Orisa shield. You kind of layered them. You did like the onion technique, right?
If we're here to blow up the box, someone beat us to it.
Right? Like this shield is here to protect you for some basic poke at the very beginning, and then you're gonna have to back out, right? But now by doing this, you've not only like reduced the value of this Orissa's shield, right? Because what are they gonna see? They're gonna see your shield and then maybe the top of this, right? You're reducing the value of the Orisa shield, and you're getting yours blown up at a time where it's like you didn't need to do that, right? Because you're not holding here. You're not gonna look at where their spawn is, right? Look where their spawn is. Look at where yours is, right? If I zoom out, right, you have to come back all the way from over here in this tiny little corner, right? And they're always gonna be coming out of this for this first fight, right? No matter what. So you have to do things in a sustainable manner,
One. Attackers incoming. Enemies
right?
defend
So Halt
objective
coming
A.
out, good thing that you can combo with Rock, right? If your Orisa calls it. They have a teleporter setup. Where does that teleporter go? Teleporter goes behind you, right? So this teleporter actually spawns right next to you and you have no idea.
Ready for battle.
I hate to break this to everyone, but if we're here to blow up the box, someone beat us.
Right. So we'll watch this again.
One. Attackers incoming. Defend objective
Right. You're literally watching out of the corner of your eye this teleporter get created, and you see there's a teleporter now, right? You're down shield. They're setting up on you. All right. This Sim just ran in pretty much. All right. Now there's Lucio, right? Shoot him down. Shoot him down. Why are you letting him leave? What are you looking for? You just watched him.
Barrier is unstable.
Right?
My barrier is destroyed.
Okay. So you saw the Sim harassing your backline. You tried to kill them. Good. All right. You see this Lucio? Shot him twice, and he just jukes you out. Right? He's right there. He's played right around the Rosie. You should die there. Oh, he's literally behind you. What? Okay. Right?
Shin Shin.
You hear him. He just kind of gave up. He's capping your point. Okay. But now why are you holding here, right? You've killed the Lucio. He's the one threat. Hold the choke, right? This choke is such a powerful position because they have to go through this. They have to go through this or through this door, right? And if Orissa's holding here and you're shooting into the choke around a corner and you're shooting into this from around a corner, what are they supposed to do? They're just gonna take damage on both sides. It's so effective for you to just maybe hang out right here, right? And shoot into this off angle, right? Or maybe hold right here and shoot into the mega room. People who are trying to come out from there, you can shoot into this left room right here, right? There's a bunch of different options, and you're holding point, right? You have to get set back up before they come, right? You get a little bit closer. I know Bastion's scary. That's fine. Right? Again, you just let your shield melt, right? You're standing in the line of sight, right? And what are you doing? Right? You're not shooting anything. You're not applying pressure. They're able to just keep pushing up because nothing's shooting at them, right? You're a big source of damage for your team besides this Bastion, right? As Sigma. Sigma does 120 damage for hitting both his shots, right? And you're playing too far back to do anything. You're playing so far back, and where do these explode? The hyperspheres explode like right here in the choke. So okay, you're not letting them get into choke by playing this far back, but they're still not taking a bunch of damage, right? I don't know why your Lucy is going in. He's kind of a mad lad. Right? Yeah, you need to get close enough that you can do damage. And more importantly, you need to do enough damage, or you need to do enough pressure that this Bastion has to move, or you break shields or something, right? Like here, look how low you are. You don't have a shield to protect you. This is where you need to be shifting, right? You need to be shifting if you're going to close this distance. And you just die, right? Like... Right? You throw out your shield just for it to get blown up. The shield doesn't protect anyone per se, right? Because everybody's trying to play right along this and shoot directly at the Bastion. Just hold the corner, right? What like look at this Bastion's line of sight. Yeah, well, it's hard because he's got tanks butts right in front of him, right? Well, like, okay, let's look at the Orisa, actually. Orisa's got a better line of sight because she's sitting in the bastion pretty much, right? But, like, look how narrow this sight line is. What are they supposed to do if you move around a corner? Really nothing. They have to reposition to make that work. And if you hold your corners fairly well, don't give the bastion line of sight, and then just shoot him because your shots rebound, right? There's a lot more. You have a lot more flexibility than this bastion. Bastion is so linear, and while you keep thinking in a linear manner, he's gonna win that every time, right? Because they're literally just holding mouse 1 looking forward. That's all they do. Right? Okay, now this bastion repositions, right? Your bastion could have benefited from a shield right there, right? Like, bastion just shooting down main and everybody's standing in the open, right? Like, this Orisa has the right idea. She's holding a corner. Moira's got the right idea. She's holding a corner. Right? But, like, now there's just not enough damage. Imagine if you were here to help shoot this bastion and not let them in, right? So they get in because you just take excessive amounts of damage as a team, right? And part of the reason why you take excessive damage is because you're not holding good positions and you're not using cooldowns effectively, right? Hopefully that makes sense.
The power of destruction.
Right? I think you keep deploying your shield because you think of it as cover, but against Bastion, Bastion is going to melt it. You have to play hard cover, right? You have to play hard cover, and you can't play directly in front of him, right? Like, what are you doing? You are asking for him to shoot you right now, and he's going to, and you're not close enough to do damage, right? Like, you need to shield stuff like that. All right. So, where's your Bastion? All right, your Bastion just has a superior angle that none of them are checking, right? So he's single-handedly winning this fight because it's like, what is it, like penguins can't look up or something? This entire squad of penguins just has no idea how to look directly up. Bastion just takes all this damage, right? And look at your team. Your team is starting to use ults, and you aren't even 50% tiers. The other team has almost all of their ults too, right? You like the Orisas have both done a lot. The Bastions have both done a lot. The supports are doing a lot. The other DPS that isn't a Bastion is doing a lot. This Zen has just switched off of what was it, Lucia, right? But think about your ult charge in comparison to everyone else's, right? You have done the least in this lobby, right? I wonder if it's because you're not comfortable on this on Sigma, right? But like you have to figure out how you're gonna start getting value, right? You can't just throw down your shield. Please call back your shield too. It's still up. You can't forget about that, right? Because it's just gonna break, and then you're gonna need it at some point, and it's gonna be gone, right? Good. Pull it back, save it, let it charge. There's no fight happening. These are things that you just gotta think about a little bit faster. Good, right? What happened there? Right? Okay. You pull down your shield because you remember it. Okay. And now you and this Orisa are holding forward. And what happens? Right? Okay. You can't go back like that. This Zen takes a bunch of damage from Orisa, from Lucio, right? And what happens? You're in the right place at the right time. And you say, no, you're not allowed to push this area, right? Now, Zen shouldn't be frontlining. It should be a tank, right? But this is why tanks are so powerful at holding front lines, is because they just say, no, yeah, you can't go here, right? This Zen overstayed his welcome and took way too much damage because there wasn't a tank to protect them. Imagine if their Sigma, where's their Sigma? Imagine if instead of looking at Disneyland out in the distance, right, their Sigma had been shielding that Zen and been giving him a little bit more support. That Zen would have survived. He could have done some damage to you. He could have farmed his ult a little bit faster, right? But no, Zen just went out into the middle with no protection, and you blasted him down, right? I mean, your Orisa helped, but you got the job done, right? That's what we need to see more.
It's fracturing.
All right, fight's over. Don't take excessive damage on the shield. You can't keep letting your shields break. All right. You should also be thinking about holding this room because your hyperspheres bounce around, and you're watching the other angle, right? Your Orisa has this covered. If your Orisa needs help, you should be able to identify that based off of sound cues, based off of callouts, right? But again, Sigma needs to hold the off angle. So here, right? This is the other way that they can get in. They can get behind you. Everybody's looking the same direction, and that direction is not useful, this sim knows that, right? And what does this sim do?
Death is an illusion.
Right? Alright, well, sim first tries getting pot shots on the Bastion, which seems to be working. Because, alright, so Bastion recognizes I'm taking damage, I gotta move, right? So sim actually forces him out from spawn. Zen feeds, right? But now nobody's checking her. Nobody sees her. And she's able to get behind you, right? They say, okay, you know what? We really want to kill this Bastion. We want to take this high ground. And because you weren't checking that room, right? You and your team weren't checking that room. Do they die? All right. Well, your Bastion's gone. Your main holding force is dead. And Sigma kills them, right? So now the map's been flipped, right? They've got their Bastion up. Right? They traded their Symmetra for getting their Bastion up here, right? And it's because you weren't watching this room, right? If you had watched this, you would have known that they were doing that. Your Bastion would have been safe up here, right? And now it's gonna happen, right? Now you gotta move. You gotta leave. That choke that you wanted so desperately, you have to give it up. I don't know what this Bastion's doing. He could be shooting into you. He could be doing anything else other than jumping down.
Activating the barrier. Barrier no
Rock him.
longer exists.
Rock him. As soon as you see him transform and go down, stun him out of it and then start shooting him, right? Because here, you try to block off his damage, right? Yeah, teleport's already served its purpose. Shoot something else, right?
That's it.
Start looking for the team. That gives you no value because you've destroyed the teleporter after it's been used, right? And you kind of forget that they have a teleporter set up, right? So people are dying from the rooftops. Well, how'd they get it there, right? And it's because your team wasn't checking, right? All right, Bastion falls. As soon as you see this Bastion come down in turret form, you gotta rock him. You gotta mess him up. Because his entire goal is going to be getting right on top of you guys and blasting you down.
Activating
Right?
the barrier.
This shield is a nice temporary solution, and you start shooting someone else that's easier to hit. And then as soon as you start doing damage and he realizes the Orisa isn't looking at him, right? He starts blasting you down. Use your shift, eat the bullets, use your rock, push him out of, make him come out of turret form before he does too much damage for you to do that. Right? You get melted because you didn't check him, and because you didn't use your utility effectively. And now they get to breakthrough choke. Right, that was really preventable, and just the due diligence. I don't know what just happened to that Lucio, but the due diligence wasn't done there.
That music.
I am ready to unleash
It's playing again.
Ace gets a double. Right now, what are you looking for? You want to retake this area, right? Okay. Why are you shielding this?
About to break.
Right. You're shielding this when you could just go here. Go here, poke out, shoot him, poke back in. Poke out, shoot him, poke back in, right? You don't want to be using your shield because your shield is such a temporary bandage, right? Your shield gets something done, but it's so temporary, especially into a Bastion that just melts it down, right? You cannot be as reliant on this shield because it is going to go away as soon as this Bastion shoots you, right?
Barrier
And now it's broken
out of
again.
existence.
And what if you need it for the Sigma Rock, right? What if you need it for Orisa Bongo, right? What if you need a temporary cover to get your team out of a situation, right? You no longer have that option because you let it get broken. Rock him. Good, right? That's actually the right move, but the Orisa took it instead, or the shield took it instead. All right, use your shift. Use your shift. You got to get out. Your Moira is trying so hard to get you out, and it feels like your Moira is really trying to bail you out, and you don't have the utility to do the same. Like, you don't think to use shift there, right? To eat the bullets. You don't want to make yourself invulnerable for her to keep you up. You don't have a shield to protect you from 1 or 2 shots, right? Like, everything that you needed, this rock would have been really good if that shield didn't come out just now, right? Which is why you need to be playing here sooner, is to stop that Bastion from getting the momentum, right? Imagine if you had done this like 3 seconds ago, right? Imagine if you had shield to block this right now. Imagine if you had shift to eat that right now and turn it into shields, right? And make this fight go on a lot longer for the Bastion. But now it's uncontested, right? What does this Bastion do? Alright, well, Bastion just dies. But that's because the rest of the team was able to follow through better, right?
No, that wasn't
Use
right
wall.
at all.
Wow, this is a long game. 22 minutes. How many attack rounds did you guys get? Right, okay. Catch up to your team. Right. Okay. Your team's fighting on the cart because they've reclaimed it now. What is the better position for you to hold? I don't know if anyone in chat's able to tell me. But what would be a better option here? Alright, let's watch where you go. I'll watch you walk back. Alright, you're going all the way around the back? But where's the team holding? You're playing right here, right? You want to be here. You want to be shooting from another angle, right? Get some pressure on that Sim. Get some pressure on that Mercy, right? Even this Zen right here. Start getting some pressure onto him, right? But instead you're gonna shoot the same way that everyone else is, and they're just gonna think about using cover, right? Because look, that Bastion set up back there. He can't look at the main fight and you at the same time, right? So don't offer him that. Again, you're playing very linearly. And you gotta use shield or something here, right? Like Bastion's shooting at you, right? Let's go back. Right? What happens to your shield? You offer up shield to this Bastion. You get floated up. The shield's doing nothing right now other than getting broken. Cool. You don't have a shield now. Use your shift. Use your shift immediately. Right? Bastion's still shooting at you. Right? You're not hitting that rock in the amount of time that you need to. Or if you are throwing rock, you should be trying to hit the Sigma. Right? Where's the Sigma? Right? So Sigma's really far forward here. If you had rocked him, you would have saved your team right now. Right? If you stun Sigma while he's doing this, he doesn't get it. But instead he does it for free. And the Bastion is shooting your team down, right? And then you get blasted because you don't use shift. And now this Bastion has a 4K, but like, let's look at the effort that the Bastion had to put into this, right? Bastion is such a low skill hero because it's literally just a point and click adventure as long as everybody's looking right in front of you. And if you don't get pressured, then everything is free, right? So watch where he holds. Right here. On this straightaway. This dude is like aiming with his toes right now. It's literally just up and down. And he's got the supercharger, right? Right. If the team thinks about how to play around a Bastion, then you will get so much more done. Right, protect your Bastion. Yeah, this is a good shield, right? The reason this shield is good is because it's giving your Bastion a little bit more fire time, right? And this shield here is doo-doo, right? This Orisa shield's bad, so you have to start cycling. You have to start the shield cycle, right? Your Bastion needs some cover, right? Particularly from the Sigma. Watch their perspective, right? All right, Bastion gets set up. Bastion thinks about setting up here. Not great. Bastion goes here now, right? And this prevents your Bastion from getting shot. Now your Bastion moves at the same time, and that's something you should communicate. But like, if the cart was a little bit further, that would be a good shield for your Bastion because it gives him enough time to get something done in the amount of time that your shield has, right? All right. So you know someone's above you. There's not a whole lot that you're doing about it. And somebody's been shooting you in the back the entire time and you didn't even check, right? Like, when are you gonna look for this Orisa? You're being shot by Orisa. Alright. Decent shield. It's giving you enough time to get out, right? And then you get out, right? I wish your shield had more health to it, but you make it work, right? And then go from the other door, right? Make a decision, right? You are the tank. You need to be leading the charge here. If you rock this Bastion and then set up a Flux, you might be able to get a huge play here, right? Because nobody's looking at you. What is this Bastion looking at? Bastion's looking at the rat coming through, right? He's super distracted. He can only focus on one thing at a time, right? He's looking up at this doorway, which means he's not looking at you. But now your Moira's leading you because he backed out, and then Lucio's leading you because he backed up. And your shield didn't have any health to it. And you didn't shift again, right? You didn't use your shift. You didn't eat these bullets. You didn't do anything about the Bastion. You kind of just sat there and let him kill you, right? No wonder the Bastion has ult again because nobody has been doing anything to try and stop him, right? And as Sigma, a huge part of your job is going to be eating his bullets with your shift, rocking him out of turret form to buy your team more time, shielding him off to buy your team some time to get around hard cover, right? And just none of these things are happening. And this Bastion just mauls the team. Right? How far are we? We're only halfway through this, right? Well, like something has to change in this playstyle for you to deal with the Bastion, right? This is why Bastion gets value, is because nobody's dealing with him. Right? Okay, this is a lost fight. This is a lost fight. Back out. Start thinking for the next fight. Right? You can't stall the point here. It's already capped. So you going in just feeds. You see why that happens, right? This animation again, it's fixed. It's doing this thing again. You pushed out. And they just ran over you, right? Who gets ult charge out of that, right? Watch their ult charge on the top left. I want to see what they go to.
That music, it's playing again.
Right. So Zen's at 30, Rat's at 20, Sigma's at 60. Now they're both at 40, so you've given each of them 10%, and you've given the Sigma like another 10%, right? You have given about 30% ult charge in total by running out and then not doing much, right? Like what did that achieve?
That music, it's
Right?
playing
That was a lost fight for sure. Please don't switch. Oh, you had ult. Oh, you had ult. You could have made something happen there. Oh, okay. I don't know why you think Rein is the solution against this Bastion, because Sigma very clearly could have worked. To me, right? Maybe you're more comfortable on Rein, that's fine. But Rein's gonna be harder to play into this, right? You're gonna have more time with your shield, but if you don't use your shield effectively, it doesn't matter how much time you have if you take it. If you spend all of it just getting shot, right? What happens, right? You're walking. Bubble. Good, actually. You're getting bubbled. You don't have to shield this. You kill a rat because of that. Don't walk over his mines, please. He drops that. He does that. Right? And now you don't have health or shield. And you're just holding it, and this Bastion just shoots you down. Right? Same thing. Same exact thing with Sigma. Right? Watch your back.
Justice will be done.
Right? You don't have to swing this wide. Right? Because who do you protect by being here? This Lucio? Maybe, right? But Lucio can play here. Your team's playing on the left side because this is the hardest sight line for them to look at right now, right? Look at this Orisa. Look at this Orisa, right? She can only see so much. This is not part of that. It's the same thing like when you're in, right? If you hold this corner and start swinging and use your shield well, you create a no-go zone, once again, along this line, right? But now, because they're pushing up and you've swung so far wide, right, you're going to take more damage than is necessary. And if you hold here and swing, you'll be able to get damage in, right? You'll be able to get damage in. You'll be able to use your shield. You can back out, swing, let your shield charge, right? You need to play this corner more efficiently, right? Because this also contests the payload. This stops them from making progress. They have to deal with you, right? They have to do something to burst you down. But because you're here, you're offering yourself up, right? You're like a turkey on a silver platter. It's like, hey, please shoot my rectangle, right? And it makes it really hard for this to work, right? And then you get booped even further wide, right? And your Zarya has to bail you out. So like, it's good that you recognize, okay, I'm bubbled, I should swing. But the Zarya is bubbling you because your shield is almost gone and you're way far out here, right? Because now you're around this pillar, but even still, you're around the pillar and your shield's up. And look at the Bastion, right? Bastion shoots a tire. Bastion shoots a line. Bastion shoots a Zarya, right? Actually, Zarya pressures him out enough that he feels like he needs to lead, right? Do you see what happens there? Even with the Mercy Pocket, Bastion's feeling the heat from the Zarya. He's getting microwaved. I'm gonna play this at 0.75. Watch his HP bar here, right? tire fails. You guys look at that. All right. He could have stayed there a little bit longer and kept shooting the Zarya, but he's hitting about half HP while pocketed. He's scared, right? Like this Bastion is crumbling under pressure because he thinks he's gonna get killed here. So he backs out, right? And it's because Zarya took an angle that he wasn't looking at and blasted him down, right? Zarya played this off angle way better, and Bastion wasn't ready for it, right? Very simple, but it worked, right? It got him out of position, and now he is where? In the back hallway. He's in an uncomfy place, but he's gonna start moving, right? And your team should be aware of this. All right, he's ulting. All right, and he just went around. He went around ulted. You can shield that. And you got lifted and blasted. There's really little you can do about that, right? Getting just fluxed and blasted. But your team won this, or your team. Let me back up. There's very little that you can do about this situation here, but there was a lot more that you could have done about the situation back here, to the point that this would not have happened if this had been played better. Does that make sense? Because if you played this better, Sigma uses Flux now, and the Bastion isn't in a position to shoot you, right? Instead, right, they didn't feel enough pressure to use ults. They didn't feel enough pressure to reposition, and they are able to use Bongo. They're able to use Flux. They're able to shoot you down as Bastion, and this Bastion has a very nice protected area, right? The only thing that could be nicer for this Bastion is if he was up here, right? Or just shooting down main from the high ground where nobody can push him, right? And that's because the corner wasn't played well, and there was not any pressure on the enemy team. Does that make sense?
Round 2 complete.
I don't know if anyone in chat is
Score
paying attention, but
3-3. Initiating match.
right, does that make sense? Like what your job is as Rein? It feels like there's confusion about your job as a tank and how you need to play it, right? And I'm sure that comes down to unfamiliarity. And the only advice I really have is put more time onto these heroes and play the game a lot more. But there's a lot of very big mistakes that are being made that make it feel like, okay, I can't play this game, right? Or I can't do this, or they're just running me over. And so much of it is because of where you're standing and how you're using your utility. Or in some cases, when you're playing Sigma, how you're not using your utility, right? You haven't used Shift once. You've barely rocked the Bastion. Okay, so they're probably gonna run the Bastion again because it worked.
Give yourself to the river.
All right, good news is you have way more time than they do.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, where you are right now is okay. You're holding a corner, right? But you're not gonna be able to hold this for long. All right, your Bastion got the nice angle, right? They're running at you. They may want you to back out. Don't push this. You don't win those, right? You don't win in that tiny room when you don't have support. Choke, good. Play here. You don't have to shield this. You have an Orisa shield in front of you. The shield does nothing other than take damage. Right? Again, swing on this corner. Don't shift it. Oh, does your Mei lock you out? Dude. Right? Why do you get punished here? It's the same thing that happened before, where you charge the cart to protect your Baptiste, right? But now people are looking at you. Watch the sun.
Defend objective A.
All right, Mei walled off. Tank's looking for another way around. Zen's getting damage in. He's healing his tank. His tank is playing around cover when he's low instead of pushing into you, right? That's what this Rein is doing differently. Rein's waiting behind hard cover while getting healed. There's Fire Strike. You swing. And then you charge. I think because you're trying to kill this Rein. You don't need a charge to kill him. You've got enough pressure on him that you don't need to do this. Right? Your Mei locks you out, but it doesn't matter because this guy is blasting you down, right? And this guy's got Discord on you. Look how high charged the Zarya is, right? Where does all this charge come from? right? She waits patiently. She has her Rein take a bunch of damage, right? She does some damage in there. And then she pushes up and takes a bunch of damage, right? And even though her Rein dies, you like this trade is worse for you because you take longer to come back just by nature of the spawns because you went way too far in, right? This was not a sustainable position. You could have played here, right? And you know this Maywall literally doesn't matter because you're not backing out of that situation with the Zarya looking at you, right? She can just dance around you, right? This corner would have been so much more ideal if you just had been swinging instead, right? But high charge Zarya, Discord Orb, right now your team is down a tank, right? They can't play as aggressive. They're still getting value because where's this bastard? Because this bastard is doing sneaky things and they're not looking at him, right? But you know, you won't have that every game. You will not have the sneaky flank bastard every game, and you will not be against the team that doesn't think to check their corners every game.
My ultimate is charging.
60 seconds remaining.
Now, I'm gonna assume that they capture this because of how much time, you know. Okay. So Rein's down. Again, you're shielding nothing, right? You're just kind of shielding because it's there. That's what you need, a shield, right? Watch this back. Right? Okay. Fire strike. Cool. Shielding while going towards the choke. Okay. But now you're behind cover. Play the corner, right? Play this corner right here. Start swinging. Right? There's nothing for you to do. You're not Sigma anymore, right? There's nothing for you to do here. They're not pushing this. You can't shoot into that room. There's nothing for you to do here. And what's your Mei doing? All right, your Mei's getting greedy. Your Mei's trying to take this angle. What if you had been shielding her and choke for her to do this, right? If your Mei had said, hey, and I know you're probably in a voice call with this Mei, right? Because you are on the same team. You, Light Mage, and Ace are all on the same team, right? This Mei should be calling, hey, I'm gonna shoot stuff. She needs cover. What are you? Rectangle man, right? You are the rectangle man. And your Mei needs protection here. And this shields us up too late because you're playing once again, right? I'm gonna put on the icons, right? Look at where you're playing. Right? Your supports are kind of, or your Lucia's kind of feeding, right, by going in front of you. But like so, and your Mei is too. But like they're trying to get things done. You're playing the furthest back out of everyone here, right? Why? You can take some damage. You're a tank. You can shield some damage. You're Reinhardt, right? And so like, you know, you don't have to play aggressively. You don't need to go into them, but you need to play forward at least, right? This positioning is just bad, and then you're here. I'm gonna reserve judgment. Okay, all right. He walked into that, right? Unnecessary, but you went unpunished for it, right? And you shielded your way out, but there's a Zarya behind you, right? Like, what happens here? Let me turn on the icons again, right? You shift in because you're trying to get damage in, because you're trying to get picked, but that entire time you're so vulnerable, right? Right? Because this Zarya just runs right by you. Zarya runs right by you. Cool. You kill the Zen. You got a healer out of the mix. Or Rat starts blasting you down. Mercy starts blasting you. Zarya's trying to make a run for point, and then she realizes, oh, we got a Rein sandwich here, right? And she just shoots you in the butt the entire time, right? And it's because you left this position so vulnerable, because you charged in, you took a bunch of damage, you backed out, and she made her way through. You passed her like a ship in the night, right? Right. So Mei dies because you're not forward, and then you die because you're too forward, right? What if you had just been swinging on the Zarya? She can't run by you for that. Just swing on her. You don't need to charge that. It doesn't matter that you get the Zen because they killed you and a bunch of other people in the process, right? And that Zen's coming back way before you are, even if you have more mobility. He's closer, and he's got Mercy Resin, right? So now your charge has done nothing but you killed here, right?
30 seconds remaining.
Yeah, you're not taking this point back. You can try. You can force ults. Like, that's not bad, but you're not taking this back, right? Okay. At least there you did something by swinging, right? You didn't just take it. You didn't just take the bullets.
30 seconds remaining.
Right. Go in. I'll watch this in quarter speed, right? Bastion's in this back room, right? I don't think you know that. That's okay, right? They're ulting, but at least you're getting some charge off of this, right? At least you're doing something and buying time. This is the most that I've seen out of the Rein so far, right? Is even if it's just you going in and feeding and dying and giving them ult charge, at least you're getting something out of it, and you're trying to stall just like a little bit longer, right? But you know that you're not getting that back, right?
Objective lost. Overtime.
This is not over.
Okay, so now they're here, right?
I am your shield.
Bastion's not looking at you at all. You're shielding him though. Why? Right? He's not hurting you. He ain't even looking at you. I don't think he even knows you're there, right? Swing on him. Make him look at you, right? Take that pressure off your team. Why are you here if not to fight, right? Because you've got healers to back you up, I think, right? Okay, your Lucio's discorded. They're using tire. All right, White Mage gets the tire, right? Where's your healer? Oh yeah, he's coming back. He's getting ready to get in there. Your Baptiste is nowhere to be found. Okay, so you don't have healers, right? That's not on you. That's on them for being weirdly positioned, right? Sure, you should be aware that you don't have healers, but like, I really don't care too much, right? Close the chat. Right? So like, okay, backing out here without your healers is good, but just sitting there is terrible, right? Like, this is a terrible thing to be doing. Assuming you have your healers, right? Like, if a situation is different, right? Like, okay, so either A, be aware that your healers are not going to be able to help you, and don't even attempt to go in, right? Like, this shouldn't be happening because you don't have healers to help. And even if you are going to be in, do something about it, right? Like, what is this, right? You're shielding. You're shielding for what, right? You don't get damage in. You don't take the Bastion out. The Bastion's the threat. You've done nothing to solve the issue. And instead, your shield just gets melted, right? And then Bastion turns on you. Bastion turns on you, right? And now you're swinging way too late. You had an opportunity to start getting damage in, and you're swinging way too late, right? And you back out. Okay? You trade Rein's? Sure. But he's going to get rest. There's no threats, right? Like, all these things are happening too late, right? There's no communication with you and your team of can I do this safely? You need to play with your team, and you need to make something happen, right? These things are happening years after they need to be happening, right? And your team just gets killed over and over again. What? What happens here? They walk off the point? Huh? Wait, they're winning. Bastion's shooting on them. They walk off the point. Oh, that's a C9 of the fattest proportions. Okay. Yeah, they could have made that last a lot longer if they didn't just walk off. That's really bad by them.
Score 4-3. Switching sides. Initiating. Ready for battle.
I'm gonna assume that this is at least close because of how much time's in.
Be sure to stretch before engaging in the rigorous physical activity.
Right?
Get in there.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers in.
Activated.
Defend objective A.
Once again, right? And we talked about this before. You're bubbled. there's no reason to have your shield out, right? Like, cause you're not protecting anyone. Your bubble is doing that for you, right? Oh, where is this dude? All right, this guy's way in the back, right? So you walk in and you just get blasted by this bastard, right?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Right? And because you go for this fire strike here, you lose 400 HP instantly. Right? So this fight's over now. This fight's over because the main tank's down, right? So wait for your team. Wait for your team. Don't try anything. Wait for your team. Okay, they hunted him down. Alright? That shield damage is not necessary, right? I get that you're trying to help the Zarya, but Zarya's got bubble to bail herself out. So chill, right? You don't let your shield break, though. That's good, right? Don't shield it again. Oh, okay. You should have waited, right? You're... And the reason you should have waited is because your team's not ready, right? Reaper's still in spawn. Bastion's on the flank. Bastion's not telling you that they need help because this big, mean, scary diva is going to come after him, right? And your shield's broken, right? Your shield's broken. You needed to chill anyways, right? So they are winning this trade, even though they're not doing anything, right? All you had to do was stand behind a corner, and you would have been in the better position here. They don't kill you running across. Cool. But they kill your Zen. Why'd they kill your Zen, right? Right? Junkrat spam. Junkrat's not even like looking for anything. Right? Boy, your Zen wishes he had something to protect him right now. Right? Because this Junkrat's just popping shots in.
Oh, back to the scrappy.
Can't even really see him, right? Also, hey Brandon. Right, this Junkrat's just spamming, right?
Gotcha.
I don't know. Were you on the enemy team? Are you that Junkrat, Brandon? Right. So once again, right, because your shield broke, because you just let it break and you didn't just chill, you weren't able to protect your team effectively, right? And now this fight's gone too, right? So now we have to wait. We have to wait again, right? So time is burning. Time is burning because you keep challenging things when you're not ready to, right? What do you do here, right? You're shielding, okay? You shielded and you decided to move across. That's good, right? That is good that you made a decisive action. How is your team going to get across? That Orisa shield has like a third of the health of yours, right? Right? And what do you do now? Shielding again. There's a shield in front of you, right? Let that shield take the damage and then use yours. Remember, efficiency, right? Like that's okay. That's not bad. You're using the shield as an opportunity to fire strike. Okay, cool. Like that's. I actually think that that's decent, right? Because you're not. I'm gonna watch a tire, right, just to see what happens here, right? I don't think it's particularly like because of you that this tire got off, right? So I don't even really care about this, right? This is just a good ult, right? I want to see why this is a good ult. This rat doesn't even look at you. This rat can't even see you. Right? Okay. Yeah, everybody was just pushed up and clumped. And there's really not much that they could do about this. Like, sure, you could protect them, but like if Orisa shield could have done this, right? If we weren't as clustered here, if we knew that they had tire, and we should know that they have tire because this Junkrat's just been popping the entire time, right? So like you could have tried to protect that, but odds are like your team would have been just playing right behind you and you all would have died anyway. So I really can't say I care about this tire too much, right? I'm not even gonna call that your fault. What I am gonna call your fault is you letting your shield not take damage, but like you lifting your shield up while there's a shield in front of you, right? You're not cycling it effectively. Right? Watch this. Right? Okay, you shield, Orisa shields. Stop shielding, go for that fire strike, right? Start pushing up, right? Incremental shield gameplay. But instead you push so slowly. Right? That's good. There's a shield in front of you. You can fire strike, right? You have the protection. You're not going to take damage. You're not going to get punished for doing it. But now that bastard's in turret form, and your team is dead. Die or get out, right? Die or get out, and you're committing instead. And they just get more ult charge off you, right? Rat's already a fifth of the way to his next tire. He's just used it, right? So the impact is just not being felt here. You gonna swap the signal? No, okay. And maybe there's other coaches in chat who have, you know, suggestions for this, right? But the major thing that we're seeing is just like really inefficient shield usage, right? And I feel bad saying this, but also it's like a lack of confidence in your own decisions, right? Which I know I'm not helping because I feel like I've just torn you down for this entire VOD review, right? But the thing that needs to be happening here is you need to be making decisions faster and you need to be committing to them, right? Instead of playing in the back line, instead of walking around looking for something to do, right? You need to know what your job is as tank. And it's not clear to me that is something you know what to do right now, right? And that's fine, right? Like my understanding is that you're new to the game, and that's totally okay. I'm being critical because I want to see you become good because I know you have the potential to become good, right? And you do the right things sporadically. We need to be doing them way more often, right? And that's what this is VOD review is for, right? Okay, your team's waiting for you, and you start leading them. Okay, you've got a pick now on the rat. Big spam damage gone, right? Right? I understand wanting to push the right side. It's more protected from this bastion, right? You know where the bastion is, so doing this makes sense, and your Junkrat's in front of you and gets killed for it, right? But this is like, actually, I don't even think this is on you, right? I think this is on your team, right? I'm gonna watch this, right? Okay, team holds back. They're waiting for some protection. All right, you're shielding. You're shielding, and your team's not committing with you, right? This was fine. This was fine because you use your shield efficiently, you use your shield effectively, and your team did not follow through with you, right? And that's not on you. That's on them because they should have seen, hey, we're going in. We've got a pick, and you're trying to do what you can to escort them, right? You did the right thing here, and your team did not follow through on you. And I want to see more of this. Right? All right, shield's out. Shield trades, right? Bastion's still there. You can't keep walking in front of this bastion. Again, we're thinking too linearly about this bastion, right? Now you don't have shield, so here it comes. Ouchies, right? He waited for the shields to go down for him to throw this out, right? Oh, this Zen should not be trancing this either. This is just a waste. Right? Now, this Rein does not get to do that charge, right? And this Rein, I hope, gets punished the same way that you did for doing the exact same thing. Because they have trance. He has to play defensively, right? But what is this Rein doing? He's playing behind the corner, right? His Zen has to bail him out because his Orisa is still pushing him, right? But what is this Rein doing that you're not? He's playing in the hard cover, right? He's not relying on his shield unless he needs to, and now he's using his shield to get out, right? And now he's using his shield to protect his team, right? And now he's playing the hard cover while his shield charges, right? Do you see how he's doing this, right?
Back and ready for more.
Okay, pushing the right. You got to call this, right? You got to make sure that your team knows what you're doing. And your Orisa follows through. All right, that's one more than last time, right? But why do you keep swinging out in front of this Bastion, dude? Because this Bastion's going to keep running you over, right? Actually, not a bad plan, right? I'm going to charge and get nanoed. You still get gunned down by the Bastion, but you trade, right? Could have been worse. They're going to res him, though. I think. Wait, do they res him? Should res him. Okay, she goes for a res and it gets punished, right? Why does this fall apart? Why does this defense fall apart for them? I want to see it. Right? What happens here? What's happening here? right? Bastion's gunning you down while Bastion's distracted. Bastion gets blasted, right? You traded main tanks. One, not a bad play, right? For the elo you're in, not a terrible play. The threat is now eliminated because Junkrat took a very I don't even want to say clever because it's not particularly clever, but Junkrat took the right approach, right? Instead of trying to close the distance by running straight at the Bastion, he used as much hard cover as he could and closed instead, right? Watch this. All right, tunnels. Bastion's right there on that car. I can't look out. Bastion's distracted. 1, 2, gone, deleted. Threat eliminated. Team can push, right? This is what needed to happen 2 minutes ago, right? Zen doesn't have any cover now. Zen doesn't have any protection, right? Diva's desperately trying to get something done there. Mercy's a bot, right? Gets focus fired down, right? So in a weird way, you and that Ana opened up the floodgates to make something happen by distracting the Bastion, but all that needed to happen was just not getting melted on the approach. And all that took was going through this tunnel, right? That's all it took. And you can shield to go across this, right? But what's another thing that you could have done? Just take a new path. This is all covered, right? Bastion doesn't get to see any of this. Bastion doesn't get to see any of this until Peekaboo, you're dead, Bastion. We don't want you here anymore, right? He ends up looking like this guy, right? Right here. Right? So think about the path that you're taking too as Reinhardt, right? Is it the most efficient for my shield? Right? You end up getting blasted in this choke so many times because you don't have a shield or you're not using shield well, or I'm trying to close distance this way, right? And all it took was somebody going on the flank and killing the Bastion, right? That's all it took. Super easy, non-linear, right? You weren't thinking in a two-dimensional, or you weren't thinking in a one-dimensional space, right? So one dimension, two dimension. What's a line? Line's one dimension, right? I'm not sure. Right. So it wasn't the most effective, right? It wasn't the cleanest, but it got the job done, right? You got in, you killed the Bastion, and once that Bastion's gone, threat's eliminated, right? But that wasn't inherently because of you. It was because your team did something smart, right? All right, Bastion's still there. You just saw the Bastion transform. Shatter him. I don't care. Build him. Why do you? Okay, you keep clicking too to keep swinging, right? Okay, this pin is not great, right? What is happening here? Right. Okay. Just let your full charge run, right? You don't have to cancel it early here, right? All right. Well, I guess this Bastion's covered by your hammer, but you see him, right? You see him, right? While he's transformed like that, he can't move. That's the perfect pin target, right? But then you jump and you hesitate, and you have I want to watch this in slow, like you two stare each other down for a second before you realize what's about to happen, right? Watch this. Again, right? You jump like a WWE fighter, you land, and you wait. And the two of you just stare each other down, right? Again, be decisive, be confident in your actions. Bastion's here, Bastion's dangerous, I'm gonna kill him, right? You get a hit, hold your mouse, hold your mouse, hold your mouse. You don't have to keep clicking to shoot, right? And then you lose track of him for a second, right? All you have to do is just keep swinging. And then you charge instead, right? You charge instead of keep swinging. And you don't have supports because one's coming back from spawn. One's trying to help you, right? But you die because you charged, right? You got punished because you didn't do this better, right? You could have shattered the Bastion. Honestly, you could have shattered him. I wouldn't have blamed you, right? Dude's annoying. And they use ults to get kills, right? So they're gonna be at an advantage. Here, right? This fight's over because you got killed and your healers got killed, right? So now your team needs to regroup and take a fast fight now.
Make every second count. Crush their defenses.
Right? I understand that you can get in now, but you're kind of Lone Ranger in it right now, right? Bastion coming back from spawn, he is, right? So the major threat's gone, but Doesn't look good, right? Not bad. You saw the charge, you shattered it. Right? But who is going to do anything about that, right? Large shatter with no follow through because none of your team is there to help you. Imagine if you had waited another 5 seconds for your team to join you. Imagine how cool that would have been, right?
Pass into the iris.
Ash dies again.
Wait for me.
Overtime.
Okay. Ace gets another big Death Blossom. Your team's winning this fight. It's just ball on the point right now. Yeah, Ryan Bastard is scared. They know they can't win this, right? Alright, overtime. You gotta stay on the point. Right? But that doesn't mean you have to stay on the point. You can start pushing up. You have the advantage. Press the attack, right? Because look what's going on, right? They're coming back from spawn. This rat's here. Start taking space, right? Start taking and making space for yourself. I fire strike the ground. All right, the fire strike game needs a little bit of work, but that just comes with time. Right? All right, you got either break this tire or protect from this tire, right? Because this tire could end it all. And now you're out in the open. You swung wide. You get killed, right? He just leaves off of this.
The payload is
Yeah.
approaching its
So
destination.
this entire time, it's like you just looked lost, right? I think it's like you don't know where you need to play, and you don't know what it is you need to be doing at any given time, right? And that's fine, right? Like as you play the game more, you're gonna become more and more familiar with that. But like, so much of this game is built off the back of your team getting like critical picks, and you know you've done one or two things here and there, right? But for the most part, do you see how like you kind of just exist and then die, right? As the tanks, and I think it's because you're just not sure of what you need to do, right? And this hesitation leads to you dying. So there's a couple things I want to see improved, right? The first one, right, I'm gonna open up the pen tool. The first thing I want to see you change, is I don't like that color. I want to use this one, right? Number one, want you to work on your positions, right? Where are you holding? Is it good? Is it bad? Are you out in the open? Are you gonna actually get anything done? Are you holding the point, right? Think about your positioning. That's first and foremost. I just realized that the pen tool isn't showing up. Let me change my stream. Right. Number one, positioning. Right. That's the number one thing that you need to think about. Am I holding the right areas? Right. Am I getting anything done? Am I protecting someone? Am I holding a corner? Am I able to do damage here? Right. Most of the time, the answer for this has been no. You've been standing out in the open and you've been getting killed by a bastion. Right. So that's like the number one thing you need to worry about, because nothing else matters until you get this positioning done. None of your cooldowns matter unless you get positioning like correct, right? Number two thing I want you to think about is and this kind of leads into positioning, but taking space, right? So taking space is going to be using your positioning effectively, but what I need you to do is create an area in which your team can operate, right? Because so often you are sitting on the payload and you are not doing anything other than just vibing. And what ends up happening is a fight goes on, or they get set up and they start killing your team because there's nothing to threaten them, right? A huge part of Rein is being an up in your face threat, right? Now, this doesn't mean shift all the time, right? But what the big part of this is, you need to be up in their face, right? And you need to be threatening them. Like, I'm not going to let you set up. I'm not going to let you do that thing. I'm going to swing on you. I'm going to take my hammer and I'm going to golf swing you into tomorrow, right? Like you have to be able to threaten them to do damage, and by just standing on payload, all you do is give them free ult charge, right? So you need to be doing something actively, right? Um, I want to see also when you start figuring these things out, your decision making, right? As you understand what positions you need to hold, right? What works, what doesn't work, and as you understand when you need to start, like as soon as you understand that you need to start going in and doing things, um, you need to start making those choices faster, right? This game can get very fast paced, especially when you're playing with Rein. Rein thrives in fast, up in your face environments for these reasons, right? So decision making faster, right? As you learn this game, as you know where you want to hold, and as you know where it is that you need to be going, start doing it, right? Start doing it immediately, right? And once you have these three things done, then we can start talking about your cooldowns, right? We can start talking about, okay, I need a fire strike when I'm protected. I need a fire strike less. I need a fire strike more, right? Or I need a shift less, or I need a shift here, or I need to use my ult, right? Like I actually don't care about your ult right now. I don't care about your cooldowns. The number one thing that's giving you problems, I think, is your shield management, right? So the other thing is when you figured out these first three things, the next thing that I want you to start focusing on is use shield wisely, right? I have to figure that, right? Use the shield smart, right? It's only temporary cover, right? But it can do so much more. You can block shatter, you can block rock, you can block flashbang. You can help your team get into a position by shielding them for that short amount of time and then start swinging when you're on top of the enemy, right? So think about these things, right? These four things. And next time we do a VOD review, right? These four things are going to be what I'm looking at. Have you improved on your positioning, right? I have to undo that one. Have you improved on your positioning? Are you holding the right areas? If so, good. Are you getting up in their face when necessary? Are you retreating when necessary? If so, good. How quickly are you making these decisions, right? I want to see first that you do the right things, and then I care about how quickly you do the right things, right? But make sure that we're doing them first. And then once we have all that done, then we can talk about your cooldowns. Okay. Um, I think that's gonna be it for the stream because I've been going for about an hour and a half now. But yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this was helpful, right? And we will talk next time.